Let's start this with a prayer. Dear Father, I thank you for this day and this opportunity to be used as a vessel to let your people know that you are available, able, and ready in the name of Yeshua from Nazareth. Let's cut this bread. Genesis 2:18. This is coming from the Amplified. Now the Lord God said, it is not good or beneficial for the man to be alone. I will make him a helper, parentheses, one who balances him, a counterpart who is, out of parentheses, suitable and complementary for him. Genesis 2:25, and the man and his wife were both naked and were not ashamed or embarrassed. Genesis 3:7, then the eyes of the two of them were open, that is, their awareness increased, and they knew that they were naked, and they fastened fig leaves together and made themselves coverings. Do you ever wonder what God was thinking when he made man and woman? But let's just think about this together, right? So he made the man first in his likeness. Provider, protector, a worker, a creator, a thinker, like a fully intelligent being. Then God made the animals first before he made all the women. And I'm like, God, why did you make animals before you made a woman? And he said, because honestly, an animal could be more loyal than a woman can. Listen, it doesn't sound sweet, and it might hurt somebody's feelings to be like, oh, God, you made animals before you women. God knows a minute that somebody comes through and they start talking that yak, and make something look appealing, we're like, oh my gosh, we're going. We ain't loyal. We ain't committed. You know how it goes. Sack chasers. I'm just kidding, but literally, like, she was chasing something better. But with God and Adam, a fully intelligent, ready to go man, literally had a job and everything. But something was still missing. And it's not like Adam was like, God, because Adam didn't even know what he was missing. He just something was missing. God knew, though. So God creates Eve, and Adam's like, yeah, that's it. Called your woman and everything because the rib came from him, flesh of his flesh, bone of his bones. A woman came out of the man. Everything is cool. And then in 25, the man and his wife were both naked and were not ashamed or embarrassed. With it being 2022, most people are embarrassed of their past. Most people are ashamed of what they have or what they don't have. So they can't be transparent. And I'm going to tell you right now, unless you got God, because you can't see what you look like yourself, you'll never be transparent. You'll never be able to be like whole for somebody. You'll just be hose for somebody. A hole that somebody falls into, and they might start sinking, and they might get flooded with emotions. And one thing for me that I keep asking God, because it's everywhere, and I fall victim to it too, right? Of being like, man, I want someone for me. I want someone that's going to love me for me. I want someone that's going to treat me just like God. Listen, can't nobody treat me like God unless God is living inside of them. You can say, oh, I'm going to love you like so-and-so. I'm going to do whatever. I ain't got to tell God none of my wants, none of my needs, because he knows them already. I ain't got to tell him none of my insecurities. I ain't got to tell him where I need to be geeked up because, I'm feeling low in this area, because he knows me. He knows me. But it's something that I did search for. But then I also had like a part of me, and it might be an Eve complex where she's trying to go ahead and, I don't even know what she bit, but she took the fruit from the tree that she wasn't supposed to so she could be like God. And that's the problem with us women. We want to be like God, but don't realize that we came from the mud, or a bone, or the flesh, or from somebody else. We're not original creations like Adam. We didn't have that time with God. We were made as a suitable counterpart that balances somebody else and makes them beneficial. But you can't tell that to women because, I'm blah, blah, blah. Listen, I'm cool with being a counterpart that balances somebody. I'm cool with being beneficial to somebody because I know who fashioned me. Back to Genesis 2:25, the man and his wife were both naked and were not ashamed or embarrassed. I'm going to be 43, and let me tell you, from not working out, my body is not the best, but it's not the worst. And there was a point where I always was embarrassed. Like, oh, my body looks like this, it looks like this, it looks like this, or my spirit is like this, or my personality is like this. And no one's gonna want me. I didn't care though. I wouldn't let anybody know I was embarrassed or ashamed. I didn't have the confidence to be just proud of who I am, flaws and all. Because instead of getting in the Word and looking at, and I'm not trying to Bible thump, but seeing how God saw me, looking in the mirror, listen, that reflection fades as soon as you leave the mirror. But when you spend time in the Word, like I spent time in the Word, and I knew I was shot. I knew I was one of those women who was like, rah, 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 rah. Jay-Z had a part in the song, and he's like, me give my heart to a woman, not for nothing, never happened, I'll be forever Mac. And that's literally how I felt, but about dudes, and I would sing that verse. Hardened, had a heart of stone, and not a heart of flesh. But we as women don't want to come to terms with the fact that we do got a heart of stone. And we're not loyal, and we don't want to be a counterpart to somebody. We want to be the man. But yet, yearn for a man to come through, but we can't be honest with ourselves. And if we're jaded enough by the world, now we're going to become carpet munchers because guys have done me so wrong. Whatever floats your boat. You punching your ticket to wherever you go, and I'm on the train to where I need to be. So it don't matter to me. Genesis 3:7, then the eyes of the two of them were open, that is, their awareness increased, and they knew that they were naked, and they fastened fig leaves together and made themselves coverings. Maybe they are the only two that have fallen off and refuse to go back to God. Listen, I'm not telling you everything I do is perfect, right? Literally had all of my kids without being married, and some simp would probably be like, oh, you're going to hell because you were fornicating, blah, blah, blah. Well, you going to hell because you was talking crazy to me. Judging. Because that same measurement that you use to judge somebody else is going to be used against you. But I can't, right? I can't. And I'm going to tell you, like, this is the honest to God's truth. I don't even know how many times I told this story. But it's called the Eyelash Syndrome, God said. You know how you get your eyelashes done and you got that little thing that comes out like that. Well, when I had my eyelashes done, so it's like this, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I can't see. If you ever had your eyelashes done, you're like trying to look up. It doesn't work. But when it came to picking dudes, I thought I knew it. And I'm like, God, oh, that's my type. I like this, I like that. And God be like, you don't know what you like. I know what I got planned for you. You know how many times I've been in a situation with somebody and it's like, damn. How was I blind? How did I get tricked? How did I go along with this? Now I'm exposed and, he can't do nothing to help me and I got to get out of this jam. And God being like, I got you. Too many times our eyes are open when it's too late. I remember beating myself up for a whole year about letting somebody in. Like, why did you do it, Tanya? Why did you do it, Tanya? Why? Because I moved without God. Because I saw something that was appealing to me. Because I didn't understand that my position as a helper and a counterpart that is here to balance somebody was more important than my ego. This isn't to bash women, and it isn't to, talk about men and how they chumps and how they going. We're all wrong. We're all wrong when we're trying to seek something. This is why we keep running into roadblocks. And when we're trying to fill this void of being in a relationship, if God is not first, if the consultation is not first, if the, what does he do? If the play-by-play is not given by God to understand who I am, to understand who he is, to understand who God is, how are we really ever going to know our purpose? This world is so disgusting because it's like you got to be this type of woman. Now you have to be a fake one in order to be a real one. Your face has to be fake. Your hair has to be fake. Your tits have to be fake. And you could even get a fake vagina or a fake penis. And you can change to whatever you want. And then we don't want to be told what to do by anybody, but yet we want somebody. And the only thing that we have to offer is some ass shots and probably, how good like our brain is when it comes to, head. What else do we have to offer? Why are we ashamed? How come we are not in a state where we are not ashamed or embarrassed of who God created us to be? Do you ever think about how if Adam would have been like, girl, is you stupid? We are not going to eat off of that. And then God made him a better woman, but he was ready to ride or die for somebody that was just going to die, that took them to death. They were spiritually dead. In one moment where God fashioned them and they're together, they're all, oh my gosh, baby, I love you, you everything, ooh, and they're not ashamed and they're not embarrassed. But then when the female go off and she start doing what she want to do because she ain't supposed to be the leader. She ain't supposed to be the head. Running off, oh, that look good. You be coming around here? Okay. I heard that tree bad. It's not. Who told you that? Oh, God be lying. I knew it. Like, he left me with dude and watch, I'm going to give it to dude and dude to chump and he going to take it. Do you see that? We're literally going against God for our own selfish purposes. At the end of the day, before we could be, unashamed or naked or not embarrassed before a person, we need to have that with God. Because if not, like, I literally would have been shot. Oh, I'm only going to call you when I want you for this. I don't need you for anything. I can do it myself. I'm a self-sufficient woman. The whole time I'm wishing, like, I wish somebody would love me. Psych. Man, look at the things that pull us. We need to be a spot where we're not embarrassed of who we are, but we will never get there if we never seek the one that could tell us who we are. This is life. We really ain't got that much longer. And if our flesh is going to keep pulling us into something that is always enticing and looks good but detrimental to who we are, we dead. And the living don't concern themselves with the dead. And the dead have no voice when it comes to the living. I implore you to be in that spot with God first, where you can be completely naked, completely exposed, completely open, and you know that He has sent you women to balance a counterpart, to be beneficial to someone. And some of us are just too stubborn to even realize that we need to be here for somebody, and we need somebody for us. And I can speak to that because that's who I was. I don't need no man. I'm gonna do whatever. Woo, 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 woo. Borderline dyke, right? If it would have been another me, I probably would have been a whole lesbian. Like, look, Tanya, you gonna work. I'm gonna cheat on you because I don't want to deal with dudes. And life is gonna be okay. Nah. Stop trying to fill our own voids and holla at God.